Good evening, everyone. My name is Moises Esparza. I'm the exhibitions manager for the San Diego Latino Film Festival. Thank you so much for all of your ongoing support during our 27th edition, brought to you virtually via the Eventive platform. We originally planned on bringing you our amazing programming to the theater back in March, but you know, uh, we had to postpone due to the coronavirus. But we're really glad as a festival to be able to provide you with all of our amazing programming directly to your homes. Our festival wraps on September 27th, so there's still plenty of time to continue watching films, interacting with the Q&As, and spreading the word to your family and friends. So if you have a question for our special guest today, Daniel Rehder, please type it out via the Eventive platform, which is the platform that you use to watch the film tonight. And I'll copy and paste it over here to our screen. Or you can type it out directly on our San Diego Latino Film Festival Facebook page or the YouTube page. And then I will share any comments or questions that come Daniel's way, and we'll make sure to address them. Well, let's introduce our special guest, the director of Hotel Paraíso, Daniel Rehder. Hi, Daniel.
Hello, Moises. Hello, everyone.
How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm very excited to be here.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you. I spoke with you a little bit earlier during our Meet the Filmmakers chat. So thank you for fitting us in twice in your day. I
Very
know.
happy.
Well, let's start talking about your film right off the bat, which is, for me, when I saw it, it provided me with a passage almost back in time to when I was a teenager. I never got to go to an amazing resort like the one we see in the film, but there was something very nostalgic and touching about the experiences of Guillermo during this one very important family vacation that teaches him a lot about himself and how he relates to others. So I guess from the director's perspective, what did you hope to accomplish with this film?
Yes, definitely. The film was filled with nostalgia. It was a kind of a going back in time. Talking to myself, telling me everything you need to know to overcome some obstacles that like life will throw you, and definitely everything that I decided to around this film, around this story, was sort of that, trying to represent that time and that feeling of not knowing where you belong, and trying to overcome those problems that really are within yourself. And once you make that discovery, you're able to overcome whatever comes to you along the way.
Earlier today, you mentioned something about striking a balance between maybe genres or sensibilities or modalities with your movie. Um, we could describe this movie as coming of age, but not sure that does it justice all the way. It's also comedic, but also dramatic. So tell me a little bit about your journey to finding a balance in Hotel Paraíso.
Yes, it was definitely tough, not only in genre, but also in like what we were talking earlier about it being trying to be, a movie for masses, for a lot of people, a commercial movie, but also a very personal movie with my own camera language. In Peru, usually commercial films are kind of like an extension of television, of the television language, very plain. And once the camera starts flying around, I feel like people get a little bit disorientated. They are not too used to watching films like that, that have a lot of flashbacks, or that have fantasy sequences that suddenly people are singing. It's like they're not used to that. They are used to something more simple. So I had to really think of how the audience was going to receive all this information, and that was very difficult at points because you were struggling with your own ambitions, and also trying to accommodate yourself to what you thought the audience wanted. But at the end of the day, you have to make the decision you are satisfied with. And for me, that was making the film that I wanted. And I feel that I am never going to be um, dissatisfied with or upset with decisions that I take that I know in my heart are right. And that also was with the genre. A lot of people told me, I think this moment, Guillermo should already get up and go and get the girl. He should be a character that is much more active in his objectives. But really, when you're dealing with self-esteem issues, you are not active. You're the opposite of that. You're kind of have you feel you have a way of the world on top of you. So I was trying to get that internal struggle of Guillermo out, and that's how I started to come up with the fantasy sequences, and him seeing himself or wishing he was more active. That he would go up to the girl that he likes and tell her, hey, do you want to dance? And he dances beautifully and he sings beautifully, but life's not like that. So it's kind of overcoming with your own with what you lack. Coming up with being okay with what you lack, and getting over it. So yeah, it was really a melting pot for me. All these genres, all these decisions, all these. For me, it is a movie that's very much alive. That's what I love about it. Every time I watch it, I notice small details that I had either forgotten or didn't know were there. Like, oh, what is that extra doing? Like, I sometimes will go back and watch it again and again, and see that extras totally violate continuity, in the film, because we didn't have that many extras in the south of Lima, where we shot this. So you can see, like, there's this one kid that loves to be like dancing, like really really active, always in the background, and you can see him like all over the pool, violating continuity. And that just makes it fun for me. Like, it's not about that. It's not about you know noticing those errors. It's about the voyage that Guillermo has.
You're mentioning these extras, and I was really impressed in the film by the different set pieces that you have. It seems like there's a new set piece every 3 minutes, which to me as a viewer was really exciting, and it seemed like perfectly controlled chaos in a way, but that maybe that perfectly controlled chaos gave it a sense that it was a bit of an adventure film without maybe being an adventure film. Perhaps you made the internal adventure of growing up or coming of age or whatever seem legible and visual via these set pieces. How challenging was it to film? I mean, even the pool scene when they're having the competition between the families, it just seems like it seemed like a lot of work. But maybe you can tell me a little bit about how you went out designing these sequences to make it manageable filming wise.
I like that you said a controlled, what did you say? A controlled chaos. Yeah, I,
Yes.
I feel that that's a great way of describing me, the movie, the filmmaking process. I felt like Guillermo getting thrown around, this pinball machine that was a hotel, just
Oh yeah. Okay.
dealing with all these situations. Initially, the film was supposed to be in a cruise ship.
Oh okay.
So you were isolated in the sea with your family, and having to deal with your internal struggle. You could not hide, you could not go away. You were like a pinball machine in this cruise ship. So I remembered when I was younger, of this hotel in the middle of desert in Peru, where I used to go with my family. And it was perfect because it's a resort in the middle of the desert. It's an oasis. So you also have that pinball machine feeling. And the set pieces are actually all there. We just dressed up the 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 whole place so that it wouldn't be Hotel Las Dunas, but Paradise Hotel. And I actually changed the whole film from being a 15-year-old in a cruise ship to a 13-year-old in this resort hotel, and that started to evolve into more deeper changes. It wasn't uh, the protagonist of the love story took a bigger role, and the bully. I didn't
Hmm.
have that before. Um, so yeah, I mean the whole scenes that we made in the pool and in the lobby and in the auditorium were really big. I feel I was way over my head for a first film. Having so many kids, water, the ball flying around. But I was very, very convinced in what I was doing. I knew exactly what shots I wanted in every moment. We didn't get too much coverage, so that was for me, kind of like my go-to was being very economic with what we were doing. If I wanted to make that a auditorium scene this way, I was gonna do it that way. It didn't matter, what. It was just, um, it was very, very, very being very confident with my decisions. With the direction I wanted to take the film with.
Okay, well, we have a question already from someone who is following along on Facebook, and I encourage people to leave comments via our social media channels and through Ventus so that Daniel can answer them. All right, I'm going to read it out loud and throw it on screen.
Mhm.
Cruz Jose wants to know: was it difficult working with child actors, and did the bullying acting made them feel awkward? Yeah, so was it challenging
So
working with the
yes.
actors, and did the bullying the character, did it make
Mhm.
them feel uncomfortable?
Yes, it's a good question. I was really happy working with the children. They made the whole experience a lot of fun. They brought up a lot of energy, and they just made the set better. Like, they actually also ruined the whole continuity because we did not shot the film in order. And like, if you see the kids, they are so much more tanned in the beginning of the film than at the end, which should
Oh
be
my
the other
god.
way around. But I couldn't tell them, stop playing in the pool, or when we were shooting something else somewhere else without them. At the start we were like, okay, we're gonna control these things, but at the end, they brought so much energy that, it was either them being energized and happy against them being tanned and ruining continuity. So I mean, they made a really, really, really nice group. So dealing with a children actor wasn't that difficult. Dealing with the parents was. I hope they are not watching this. The parents are more difficult than the children, and also the older actors. Dealing with egos, and that's always difficult. It was a huge cast. For me, I had never worked with so many people, and everyone demands attention, and you have to be very economic with the way you deal with that. And also, the bullying, yes, that was a tough part. Dealing with Karim, who plays Guillermo, and the bullying was tough because he's very comfortable in his body. So I was very upset that we had to go through that conversation. Like, so yeah, so Guillermo, they bother him because he's fat, and he was like, but I'm fat, and that's fine with me. And I was like, I know, but some people aren't as comfortable as you. And so I was like feeling worried that he would start to develop the issues that Guillermo has.
Hmm.
But he was amazing. He Karim is such a light beam, you know. He if he gets concentrated in his acting career, and in doing, and in working hard, and become more disciplined, he can be an amazing actor.
Thank you, Cruz Jose, for that question. I encourage more from anyone listening. I guess talking about the cast a little bit, how did you find Karim? Was it a big search for him and the other actors, or did you already kind of have him in mind when you created this character?
Yes, so I did not have him in mind when I created the character. We did a huge casting. Um, the casting director was really good with that. He would send me a lot of videos of casting sessions, and we would make like a top 10, top 15, so that we could meet in person. Because we were not only looking for Karim, but also all the other all the other children, and also the children that were doing the talents. You know, there's this talent event, and there's like the guy that dances like Michael Jackson, and the magician. So we were like, okay, send us your talent video and your acting video, you know. So we had like a million videos.
Oh my
but
God.
but once I met Karim, I was like convinced he was it, you know. He came, he was really happy, really high energized, and he did the scene where he talks to the mirror. You know, he's like a kind of like taxi driver, you know, pumping himself up to speak with a girl, and the idea of the girl answering back was actually his in the casting.
Oh wow.
So so he started doing like the kind of the Gollum, you know, Smeagol play, and that was just so funny, and he did it so well. I was just worried that he was used to playing like the funny friend, and we had to kind of dial him down and become like trying to find his introverted side. And so that was my biggest worry. But once I got him together with these child actors that had a little bit more experience and stardom than him, I could see that he would take like a side, like a secondary seat, you know, and he would look at them and would be a little bit more shy. So I knew, like, and I could see that in his eye, you know, and I knew there was a lot that I could work with. Um, so yeah, we had another kid who was amazing, and I also saw him in a play, and he was so funny and so great. But at the end, I had to go with Karim. I think that I would have gone with the other kid if I were Wes Anderson.
If you were Wes Anderson, okay.
Yeah, he was the kid from Moonrise Kingdom. It was like the
Oh,
like
okay.
he was exactly like him. Like it was, and he was a little bit more quirky. You know, Karim was more, you know, like a cool kid.
I get it. I get it. I mean, the secondary. There's, like you mentioned, there's so many secondary characters, but from, I guess, the guy who was hosting, I forget his name. The guy who was hosting the
Mark Anthony.
competition, he had like, he was like lightning in a bottle in terms of energy. Like, it was crazy whenever he was on screen. He was a great kind of, I guess, host for the movie that kind of took you through the competitions. And then the lifeguard character who becomes almost like a comedic mentor, almost like a chorus for Kareem. Just a couple of other standouts in terms of casting and characters. We have another question coming in. Let's see. Kiara Kulisik wants to know, what inspired you to write this story?
That's my girlfriend.
Oh, okay. Thanks for watching, Kiara.
Yeah, so Kiara, what inspired me to write this story? I feel one is it's a kind of like an autobiographical story, very exaggerated, but still, you know, the feelings when I was young were there. Um, so I just had to get into that, to tap into that. I had gone with my family to this hotel. I haven't. Like every family, we've had our ups and downs. You know, with with Karim own path. It took him only a weekend to get over his stuff. I'm still struggling with all that. But yeah, I mean, it's very autobiographical. I cannot say it's not.
Thank you, Kiara, for participating. We have another question. Maybe you know this person, maybe you don't. I don't know. Let's see. Tomas Abdallah wants to know, what are the pros and cons of directing a movie you have written?
Well, the pros are that I, um, I I feel more comfortable in changing as I go. This was a very short shoot. We shot 28 days for what should have been 40 days, or
Wow.
more. But it was very hectic. um I say that my fine pen is my best friend, because I would have to be like rewriting every day, cutting. Okay, this I don't need, this I need. It was I was kind of aiding, directing, writing, producing at the same
Whoa.
time.
Okay.
So I had to make like very hard decisions very fast. And kind of being the writer, I could feel comfortable with changing the words, and I knew very well, very deeply, what everything was there for. So I could feel more comfortable, just cutting, changing, moving things around. And 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 the and the bad part of it is the same.
Hmm.
If I cut something, it would hurt me a lot. I knew I had to make the decision, and I knew I had to cut it, but it hurt me so much. Like, there's this beautiful scene we actually shot, and I had to cut it in the editing room because it just killed the pace, which was just the kids playing like a table game between them, like just before everything happens in the auditorium, and everyone is dealing with Mark Anthony, the host, and playing all those games. They are actually playing a game between themselves.
Oh,
That's how, like, me and my cousins socialize. And 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 it was just like a very cool game, fun. I had to rewrite it a lot to make it as short as possible, as fun as, to get the personality of every one of the characters in that game. And it took a lot to shoot too, and we rehearsed it a lot too. So it was very difficult to cut.
to cut that
So
out.
that's one of the bad things of directing your own, the film that you wrote.
We have more questions coming in. I recognize the last name. Ilse Rehder wants to know, were you inspired by personal social experiences?
Well, Ilse, if you were paying attention, you would have known that I responded that to Kiara. No, I'm joking.
They might have tuned in late. They might have joined late.
So yes, definitely. I feel that every writing that we make, this one is a very autobiographical, but for me it's very difficult to distance myself from what I write. So
Hmm.
even though right now I'm writing a film about uh, um, a reality star that gets into a very toxic relationship with a man,
Hmm.
and then she has to go through the justice system. Even though it's like very different, and I have not experienced that, I try to approach it in a very personal way. I do a lot of research, talk to the people who have experienced that, and and I empathize as much as I can with them, and with their frustrations, um, with their path. Even though I haven't been there, I try to be to honor the road as much as I can. Um, it is very difficult, because when it's not your own story, as we were talking earlier, you like it's very difficult for me not to kind of protect the character. So, for example, in that story, the girl she makes the decisions to get into this relationship. So I wanted to kind of make her perfect, so that no a misogynist can say, oh, she got herself into that relationship. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it is very difficult for me to kind of let her be, you know, not make her perfect, and just, you know, let the character be and make the decisions that other people have made, you know, and make her human. um so yeah, I don't know if I answered to Ilse, but I went somewhere else.
No, great answer. Okay, let's see. We got more coming in. uh, Cristina Orellana wants to know, who's your favorite character of the movie?
Oh, the little cousin, Bernardo.
Bernardo. Okay.
Maybe, yeah, in the movie we had to kind of dial him down a little bit, because he took a lot of screen time, and we had a lot of gags with him that we couldn't shoot at the end. But the idea of
Okay.
Bernardo is, for me, is amazing. You know, he's very a lot of fun.
Thank you, Christina, for the
I would,
question. And there's another one.
it's one of
Yeah, go
those
ahead.
characters that you laugh when you're writing. You know, like I was having so much fun when I was writing Bernardo. You know, the rest of the characters also, Mark Anthony and the lifeguard, but Bernardo was constantly much more fun to write. You know?
All right, let's see. Natalie, sorry if I'm going to mispronounce your last name. Waila Sapaye?
So
Do you know Natalie?
yeah, she worked in the film.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's from the art department, the dressing. How do you call it in English?
Costume
Vestuario.
designer?
Yeah,
Vestuario
costume.
costume. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Sorry for mispronouncing.
Uh,
How do you say your last name? Maybe you can tell me so I don't mispronounce it.
I don't know it that well too. Why
Okay.
now? Why? She's gonna hate me now. But
So, what was your favorite scene to film?
yeah, so there there were a lot of amazing scenes. I think that my favorite scene was the karaoke scene in the fire, because I feel that Guillermo and well, Karim and Fabiana, who play the kids, really had a very special moment in when we were shooting that. It's one of those magical moments where like I couldn't say cut. You know, it was just like
Mm.
we just left the camera there, and they were just looking at each other, and it was just really sweet, innocent, and very pure. uh I was like tearing up, you know, just when I think about it I get a little bit teary. It was very beautiful to shoot that. It was amazing. But the other scene was the entrance to the castle, which is like a very long one shot, which we pass like all the way through the castle, and there are all these kids dancing and hanging out. That was a lot of fun, and the kids were so happy when we were done with it. They were all like, oh yeah, this is so cool, we're in a movie set. And after the 14th take, they were just like, okay, I hate this, I want to go home.
Wait, how many takes did it take? Was it 40? Like you
Oh,
said, 40?
no, 14.
Oh, 14. Oh, okay. That's
Yeah,
still a
yeah.
lot.
No,
But,
yeah, no, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't like Fincher, like 50
or
takes.
Iñárritu. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. No, it actually worked really fine. Like the kids were amazing. The camera department was really good. Everyone was got together to make it happen. You know, even though that night the crew had a very difficult night because there was a party in the hotel we were staying at, so
Okay.
we did not get a lot of sleep. Like
Oh
it
my
was just
goodness.
like it was so noisy, but it was still an amazing shoot that night. But the karaoke and that moment between the leads was very special.
Thank you, Natalie, for the question. Um, Tell me a little bit how the film has been
It's not
received. Like
Natalie Waila. Natalie Waila,
Natalie Waila. Thank you. Thank
right?
you for clarifying.
I think it is.
Maybe she'll say yes. um, Tell me a little bit about how the film has been, I guess, received when screened, and I guess at other festivals. For example,
Mhm.
one of the it's not really I don't know if it's a complaint or not, but every year I have people asking me why I don't book enough or program enough movies that are appropriate for all ages.
Uh-huh.
I don't want to necessarily say that they're like family films or kid films because sometimes they
Uh-huh.
don't have to be, I guess. So when I saw Hotel Paraiso, I definitely felt like a piece of my programming puzzle was kind of like
Mhm.
filled, which is amazing for me. But I'm wondering about how the reception that the film has gotten commercially in theaters and at and at other festivals.
Mhm. So we started. We premiered on the 24th of January 2017 in Peru.
Okay.
2019 in Peru.
Okay.
And it did not do the numbers that we wanted at
Hmm.
all. But because I was very ambitious with it, but a ton of people still went to see it. Like now that I think about it, I'm very happy with the number. Like 45,000 people went to watch it,
Wow.
and that's the size of our football stadium. So it was like, yes, I did it. I made it big into the big league.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but at the end, it was not so much about the numbers, because the numbers are a reflection of yes, the film, but also the marketing strategy and another the date that you get out. um, just something that I don't like to get into. I've noticed with this film that I'm not a I don't want to be a producer. I have to be one. You know, I'm not that good with the numbers, but I try. So, but the thing that was amazing was that the parents would go with the kids to watch this film, and they would come out and they would be so happy. And that for me was just worth it. It was not the number; it was the quality of the people that would go and watch the film and really like it. It was that positive response that I really loved. I would go with a cast, with the kids to watch the film. We would hit different theaters and surprise the audience, and we would just have so much fun hearing everyone laugh, and then just wait outside and like, surprise, and we would like interview some people, for the Facebook and Instagram, and they would all say that they really liked it and they were really happy to have a good quality content for their kids.
Yeah.
Even though I did not picture it as a family film. I market it as one, but yeah, I mean it's for everyone. It's I mean I have we had some vulgar language, but every time a kid says a bad word, the father or the mother is like, oh, you cannot say that, so so I mean I could, that's like how life is, like you cannot you have the kids exposed to so much these days in the internet. You have to give them a compass, and let them lead themselves. I think that's very important. And in festivals, we had a very good screening in Rhode Island, and
Fantastic.
I attended that, and that was a lot of fun. I met some really great people. I had never been to a festival before, and that was a lot of fun. And I actually was going to go to San Diego the weekend. I think I remember talking to you and my family was also coming. They
I
had not
know.
gone to, but we will be there soon. Don't worry. We want to attend. I saw food trucks and parties, so yeah, it was cool. Um, it's coming back next year. The COVID is going away, but and it also has had a good reception in some other festivals. I wasn't able to attend really all over the world, which was great. You know, just I love that the people were able to enjoy the film in. I was very surprised in India, Russia,
Wow.
Sweden. We actually go to the Busan Kids Festival, and that was cool. I think we were somewhere in Africa. I hope so. If not, that's the last continent we have to conquer. Uh, I don't know if we were in Australia though. Well, it doesn't matter though. We've had great quality festivals, you know, that I love having been a part of. But yes, Rhode Island was a fun one, and hopefully we will be in San Diego in the future too. And we were here now though, so that's
Virtually, yeah.
virtual.
Um, I guess a new question came in when you were answering this last one. Um, Obviously, the film's been enjoyed worldwide, but Maria Inés Velarde is asking, would you say your film is local or can it be enjoyed elsewhere outside of Peru? I'm guessing the answer is yes, but I'll let you answer.
Yeah, I feel definitely. I grew up with a lot of references from, like, my references were American movies
Mm.
growing up, and then I got to enjoy, you know, all type of cinema as I was growing up and becoming more curious. And my mother is also an avid film buff, so I got a lot of good movies from her. And so, I mean, my language, I feel, is very very universal. So I feel that even though, if I don't know, if you don't, even if there are no subtitles and you just watch the film, you can have fun with the gags and the music, and the kids are really good actors. So I mean, the communication is there, you know, the emotions are there, and I think that's the most important part. We also took a lot of care of dialing down the things that were purely Peruvian.
Mm.
There are a lot, but I dial them down a lot as well, so to make it a more, so that it would travel better, you know. But I still that it's important to leave a part of your country in your film, because, you know, it's a great export. It's a great way to export what your country means. You know, you have that scene where they eat pachamanca, which is a basically you cook the food underground with hot stones, and then you just get out the food from the ground, and it goes directly to your plate. So I wanted to portray that, you know, the travel of the potato. We would call that shot. Um, and yeah, I mean, there were a lot of Peruvian references, but yes, I think that it's a film that you can definitely watch outside, you know, and definitely because of the good reception it has gotten into festivals. I feel that that's a kind of like a two thumbs up for that question, you know.
Absolutely. We're approaching the end of our time here, but I have a new question that just came in, so let's make sure to answer that. Um, from Mateo wants to know, good evening, Daniel. What was the most challenging thing you had to go through to be able to make this movie?
Phew. Um, I think uh, it's a tough question because there are so many different difficult parts to it. Um, it's more of being like resilient. I don't feel it's like one thing specifically. It's just not losing the north. You know, like knowing exactly what you want and getting it, because especially when you're shooting, you don't have a lot of time to think. So as I said, you know, you have to be very very confident with what you're getting, and definitely with it being my first film. At first, I was a little bit worried of like what the technicians, the camera crew, the people that were much more experienced than me, you know, would be saying. But day one, I got rolling. You know, I just and did not stop to think about that. and I developed a great relationship with most of them. You know, some of the most challenging things were some of the crew members and some of the cast members too. So yeah, I feel that that was the most challenging thing. Just individuals, human beings along the way. Certain ones. I'm not gonna say their names.
They might be listening.
Yeah, hopefully.
Well, thank you everyone for all of your questions and for listening in. Daniela, thanks so much for taking the time out of your day again to participate in this Q&A. Any last parting thoughts about the film, or maybe your vision as a director and how you applied it to this movie? Just any parting words that you'd like to leave
Mhm.
leave us with, or leave for
Well,
us.
first, I want to thank you for making this happen. You know, like definitely COVID was tough for everyone,
Mhm.
and I love that you guys have been resilient and have not canceled the festival and kept the ball rolling. So thank you very much. Um, and yes, I think that's the most important thing. You know, like if you really believe in something, like getting it done. For me, I have my ideals as a human being, and I want to put them in my films. I want to make films that kind of that are for, like, this sounds very selfish, but I want to make films for me. The kind of films that I want to see, you know, the stories that I think I will like and that I feel passionate about. And I feel that if you connect very well to what you're doing, then someone somewhere will find it nurturing. You know, they will find the satisfaction that they want from the film. You know, they are gonna be entertained with fun moments and with the characters, and they are gonna be touched by some others. They are gonna love them, the songs, and they're gonna get them stuck in their head for a while. You know, it really, this film, I really love it because it really is like I love to think of it of like a, not only like a love letter to young Daniel, you know, but also to like his love for cinema. You know, like I got a lot of references from so many films that I love, and I try to put them all there, you know. So it was just yeah, I think as long as you're very true to yourself and get things done, you know, you're gonna be okay. And that's what I admire from about the festival as well.
Well, thank you, Danielle, for your amazing answers and for your time and for giving us permission to screen Hotel Paraíso. Have a great evening. What time is it there in Peru?
It's 2 hours later,
Okay, so it's not too
so
bad.
10:37. Yeah, no, it's not that bad.
Okay. Well, thank
Yeah,
you anyways, and I hope to be in touch soon.
don't worry. Thank you very much, Moses. Take care.
See ya.